Hey everybody, Goats here. Welcome back to another car video. Today we're going to be talking about the Wheelskins steering wheel cover. This is an all leather steering wheel cover that is pretty affordable, that I think is perfect for any older vehicle that needs some sprucing up in the steering wheel area. I'm going to break down this video into different parts, so what to expect before you buy it, what you're going to get in the box, what to expect for installation and how to do the installation, and then finally we'll give the Wheelskins cover an overall review mentioning the durability, pricing, ease of installation, etc. So if you're only interested in a certain part of the video, feel free to skip ahead. I encourage you to find the sections that are most valuable to you. Let's talk about what you're going to get in the box when your Wheelskin arrives. You're going to have your handcrafted leather cover, you'll have a needle, some thread, and an instruction set to help you get started. The Wheelskin itself is going to have pre-drilled holes in it that line up perfectly. The thread is extra thick to secure the leather, and the same for the needle. The pricing on the Wheelskins is very affordable, starting at $59.95 for a single color, going up to $69.95 for a perforated dual color. The Wheelskins website makes it pretty easy to find what you're looking for. You can sort by make and model. They have some predetermined measurements for each steering wheel out there. I found that on the Land Cruiser, their specifications worked perfectly. I also installed one of these on a third generation Toyota 4Runner, and their specifications again worked perfectly. My brother, however, did have some issues with an LX470. It has a wooden steering wheel that is not quite as thick in diameter as the Land Cruiser steering wheel. So I highly recommend that you use the Wheelskins website as a guideline for picking the proper size, but you might also want to take measurements of your steering wheel. I suggest taking measurements of the diameter of your steering wheel as well as the circumference of the wheel itself. Measuring the diameter is pretty straightforward. You just need any type of measuring tape, ruler, just something to pull straight across the steering wheel to get you an even number. As you can see, this one's about 16 inches. And then to get the circumference of the wheel itself, which is this section going all the way around where my thumb and forefinger attach, it's easiest to use something flexible. So a piece of string, piece of rope, or a blade of grass, anything that'll help you wrap around like this, and then you can get an exact measurement of the actual circumference of the steering wheel. After you have all your measurements, you can head over to wheelskins.com to pick your steering wheel cover. Now they have a variety of colors to choose from, and you can actually order a color sample, which I do recommend if you're particular about the color, because the images on the website are not going to be a direct match to what you're going to have in your vehicle. In my case, I have this peanut butter orange colored leather in the Land Cruiser, and I wanted something to accent and or get as close as possible to that color. I chose the Wheelskins tan and brown. The brown is perforated. You can make that selection on Wheelskins website. You can see here that the brown is not an exact match to the Toyota Oak, but the brown is a pretty close match to this top trim piece over here, which is like a darker version of the Oak. And then the tan is actually pretty close to my peanut butter orange leather seats. In terms of installation, what you should expect is about 1 hour to an hour and a half of work overall. It's a fairly meticulous job, but it's straightforward to lace the thread. One thing I do recommend is wearing a glove or wrapping your index finger in a piece of tape like duct tape or something thicker that can withstand the pressure of the string, because as you pull the thread through, as you pull it up, the string is going to wrench on your finger, and after you do a few of them, trust me, you'll realize what I mean, and you're going to want some type of glove. Otherwise, your hand will probably start bleeding before the end of it from tugging on the string. When you first get started, make sure that the wheel skin is lined up perfectly with the emblem of the steering wheel going straight down. Some of them have a seam right here vertically, so make sure that that seam is aligned. As you can see here, mine is two-tone and perforated, so I use the spokes as my guidelines. You see here I have an equal amount of space down here versus over here, and then when I move to the top, there's equal space here and then equal space here. Then what I did is I took the thread and untangled it completely because it comes wound up in the box. So I took it and stretched it to its full length, made sure there was no knots, no kinks in it, then threaded the needle. After you get your needle threaded, you're going to tie a knot into your thread and then begin working the needle through these holes. So initially, you'll start from the inside. You're going to run the needle from the back to the front. So you're going to go on this very first one, you'll start in between the seams and go to the front, and then pull the thread over the top as you see here. So it comes out the hole, goes over the top, and then into the next hole, and then pushes through, and you repeat that over and over and over and over again. When you're stitching and you get to the spokes, you're going to get as close as you can, threading from the back to the front, and you can no longer put the needle back here. You're going to dummy stitch in the front, meaning you'll come from the back, wrap it around the front, come from the back, wrap it around the front, only on this front section of leather. You don't actually go behind. So this is just a dummy stitch. Then once you get to where the holes are lined up again, you can then again work from the back to the front, pulling it extra tight around the spoke. You can see here that mine does not move at all. One thing to keep in mind, while you're lacing this, you should not skip any holes. They should all line up all the way around until you get to your starting point. Once you get to your starting point, you're going to tie a double knot inside the seams. So once you loop your last hole, you come over and then you go in. You actually started on this hole, and so now you're left with a spot to tie a double knot right here in between the seams. I'll put the graphic up on the screen so you can better understand. Once you tie the knot, you tuck it down in between the wheel cover. And as you can see there, mine could be tucked a little better because you can still see it poking out, but it's tied in a double knot, it's tucked, you can't actually touch it, can't get to it, so it's not gonna come undone. The instructions do mention this, but I just want to reiterate again, pull these threads tight each individual time. Pull them extremely tight as you go, because the tighter it is, the better it will feel. So it doesn't move around, and it also looks better, because if this is loose, you'll see these weird gaps, and you definitely don't want that. You want this to look as factory as possible. In terms of cleaning your Wheelskins wheel cover, they recommend only using warm water with a gentle sponge to wipe away excess residue on the steering wheel cover. Because it is genuine leather, you want to stay away from hand sanitizers, any types of alcohol, and any all-purpose cleaners. I would stick with something in the leather cleaner arena that will protect the finish over the long run. Before we get into the final review, I wanted to talk about how the Wheelskins cover feels on your hands. It's very comfortable, slightly soft. It's not slick. It grips to your hand very nicely, even though it does have a little bit of shine to it. It's not slick at all. And then the stitching on the inner rim gives a nice tactile feeling that kind of sticks to your fingers as you move the steering wheel and feels good overall. And finally, I wanted to talk about an overall rating for the Wheelskins cover. In terms of durability, it's real, genuine leather. It's nice and thick. It's handmade. It feels like it's going to last a really long time. I've had mine on the vehicle for about a year now, and I have zero complaints. It is still going strong. There's no loose stitching. None of the holes are tearing, anything like that. Overall, I think it's a really durable product. In terms of pricing and affordability, these start at $59.95 and go to $69.95, and I don't think you're going to find much better quality for the price. I have seen some similar Amazon products that are a little bit cheaper, but these are handmade in the USA with real leather, and so to me, it's worth it to spend the $60 to $70 to get something really quality handmade in the United States. The installation of the Wheelskin cover is pretty straightforward. There's a few tricky parts like getting started and then tying your finishing knot. But overall, if you follow the PDF instructions and or the printed instructions that they provide to you, I think that you'll be successful. The main thing is to take your time and pull the stitches tight and be prepared for your hand to be a little bit sore when you're done. Overall though, it's not that difficult to install, and I genuinely think anybody could pull this off if they just took their time. All in all, I'm gonna give the Wheelskins cover a 9 out of 10. I think it's a great product, it's affordable, it's made in the USA, durable, and it's not that hard to install. I think if you put this on your vehicle, you're going to be incredibly happy, especially if you have an older vehicle. It's going to be perfect for sprucing up the steering wheel on your car, and it saves you a lot of time going to the dealership and a lot of money because steering wheels typically cost $300 to $400. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, please hit that thumbs up button and feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I do my best to respond to everybody, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.